So Paul Adom Othere has been detained by the OSP. Yesterday, he received an invitation to come to the OSP's office to come and explain some issues, pertaining to some contract and then some money issues be as at when he was at the airport. Are you okay? Now, yesterday, from the video Paul Adom Othere made, he made some insinuation that they are trying to detain him. Are you okay? They are trying to detain him. Now, when you go on the social media, people are saying this is Kessie been trying to settle like a personal score. Are you okay with Paul Adom Othere? This is coming as a result of, Paul Adom Othere kind of like accusing him of buying armored vehicles. Are you okay with a certain amount of money? Yes. So this is more like, okay, I'll show you where the power lies for talking about me. I'll show you just in a way of trying to shut Paul Adom Othere up. Are you okay? Now, these are not my words. When you go on the social media, this is what people are saying. Now, I am here to give you the full details. Are you okay? What actually happened and why he has been detained. So please take a listen.
Yeah, keep him in there tonight, throughout the weekend, and on Monday, then you will tell him. So all the things you sit on TV and say, I've shown you that I'm the special prosecutor.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. Because we wrote indicating that our attendance may be difficult. The attendance of the lawyers may be difficult. Therefore, if the dates could be, if we could come on Monday, in any case, others have been called and questioned at other periods in time. What is so wrong about Monday that
you cannot allow him to come on?
It
is mind-boggling.
Why Thursday evening? Because they know. And now, today is the 31st of July.
Yes.
Every lawyer will tell you that the 31st of July is the end of the legal year.
Yes, in fact, I saw on Facebook today a lot of lawyers
so the judges are going on vacation. So let us bring him, detain him on the 31st of July, which is a Thursday. If he is not able to, and we are going to go to the discussion of the bail conditions.
Yes.
And we'll analyze and see why and how unreasonable it is.
But why the abuse of power? I don't understand. Why is the I will show you where power lies attitude with
they claim, yes, if someone has committed an offense, we are all for prosecution. Make sure the right thing is done. Put people who have committed crimes behind bars. But in doing so,
follow the due process. And you are a lawyer. You are a lawyer of good standing.
You see, you have to be reasonable in the way you do things. You ask somebody to come and, satisfy bail conditions. He should bring evidence of 2 landed properties in Ghana. So now the idea or the rationale is that if you are a poor person,
you will not be able to satisfy the bail condition.
So
what it is that, let me actually allow you, you have been with him all day from the morning. So let me allow you, of course, with the viewers, to take us through what actually happened and what the options are for the team, the entire team. So the floor is yours.
Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our spectators. So as you are aware, we were invited, or the host, Paul Adom Othere, was invited to the offices of the Special Prosecutor around Ridge, number 6 Haile Selassie Avenue, to come for questioning in relation to what was termed as corruption or corruption-related offenses. No problem. Nothing is wrong with that. In fact, it is good because these are the things that help build a democracy. That when things go wrong in society, or when there are allegations that things have gone wrong in society, law enforcement agencies make sure that the right thing is done and the right person is nabbed. Granted, that aside. So the lawyers for Paul Adom Othere write to the Office of the Special Prosecutor and tell him that Thursday, which is today, would be unavailable. It will be relatively difficult for them to attend court, to attend the meeting or investigation, the inquisition, whatever, however you may refer to it, on a Thursday. And so, if possible, it should be shifted to Monday at 3 p.m. and then they would attend. It would interest you to note that less than an hour after the letter was dispatched to the offices of the OSP, the office lawyer, whoever, director of asset recovery management, wrote back and said that no, he must attend on Thursday, which is quite interesting because at any point in time, people are able to attend investigations. They tell the police, and we do it all the time. Police invite someone for investigations. Come and answer these questions. The person says that, oh, I have a funeral at Kwewu. Give me time and I'll come. And these are long-standing institutions. The police service has existed before independence. Yet, these are the practices and procedures they follow. You say, no, he must come today. No problem, granted. He comes today. You place him under arrest for corruption and corruption-related activities, conflict of interest, and breach of the public procurement laws. No problem. You conduct an interrogation into the activities, which quite frankly, even got at a point in time, got confrontational. But that's also aside. Now, at the end of everything, you then give him a form and say, you tell him that, on this form, fill it. He fills, his name, the name of his mother, the name of his father, the name of his children, the name of his spouse, all the details around him, or about him. But in one section of the documents, it is written there that he should declare landed properties he has. Properties in Ghana he has. He should write it there. The man says, I don't have any properties in Ghana. And so he says, NA, non-applicable. No problem. So there's a hearty conversation, cordial. We are discussing. In fact, some of the officers start telling that, if that's the case, you may have to start coming once every week. Discussing what is going to happen subsequently. And Paul was open to it. Because he's here, everybody knows where he stays. In fact, he has been open about his residence, that he stays somewhere at Teshi. Everybody knows this edifice. This is not somebody who is going to run away. No problem. That is granted. So they take this paper, this form, this sheet, go inside, and then come back, and in coming back, tell us or say that these are the bail conditions. 2 landed properties. When we say landed properties, land or house, 2 of them in the name of the accused. When this person had just told you that he doesn't have any property in his name. So now you say that he must provide landed property in order to meet bail conditions. And then there's also another bail condition of 2 persons, 1 public officer, not less than the rank of a principal officer. No problem, he's ready to satisfy the bail conditions. So we make the discussion that, he then tells the officer that, he just told you, I do not own any landed property in Ghana. So if I do not own any landed property anywhere, I don't have land anywhere in my name, I don't own anything like that. So how far now? Let's talk about it and see if the bail conditions can be reviewed. You then go, the officers then go, it comes back and says that, no, the bail conditions must be satisfied. So I ask the question that's here, and let us all answer it. Assuming your brother is arrested and goes before the police station, the police service, and the police tell him that he must bring his land documents, he must have land, he must bring his land documents, and he says he doesn't have any. Is it justified for him to be behind bars? Is that the basis? You see, the rationale behind bail conditions in Ghana, and why every time, for those of you who have had problem with the law before, is that why every time we will say that go and bring another person's documents is that you may not be rich, but you may know someone in your church who has land. So assuming I'm arrested, I may know someone in my church. I attend Divine Mercy Catholic Church at East Legon, Oponglo. I may have someone there I'll say that, this is the problem that has happened. So, Father, I beg, look around and see anybody who has landed property. Even murder cases that we've done, the high courts of Ghana grants bail and says that you bring two sureties, one to be justified, meaning one person must have landed property. It means that if someone is poor and does not have property or is not rich, the person is given the opportunity to bring somebody with metal or with wealth or opportunity or who has the means to stand as surety for the person who is accused. But if you tell somebody who is accused, who you have the power to throw behind bars, that he should bring land documents, he's told you that I have no land documents. I have no land. I have not purchased because the land even which he lives is in his mother's name. You say that that's the basis for which somebody has failed to meet bail conditions and so he should be thrown behind bars. Another accused person, also the same thing. He doesn't have landed property in his name, so he should be put behind bars. I mean, it's quite frankly bizarre. All jokes aside, it is quite frankly bizarre. And we cannot continue like this. And it may not be about liking or hating a person. or what a person stands for. I don't like everybody. Not everybody will like me. But it doesn't mean that if something wrong is happening, we should keep quiet and jubilate or rejoice over it. Yes, if the person has committed wrong, no problem at all. Go through the appropriate legal remedies. Let these things, follow due process, and let the law, practice. Let us see, do fidelity to legal principles. Now, if they can put up the constitutional provision for me, so we do some discussion on it. The 1992 Constitution, more specifically Article 14.3, it says that a person who is arrested, restricted, or detained, A, for the purpose of bringing him before a court in execution of an order of a court, or upon reasonable, and this is the important part, upon reasonable suspicion of his having committed or being about to commit a criminal offense under the laws of Ghana, and who is not released, shall be brought before a court within 48 hours after the arrest, restriction, or detention. Now, viewers, you see here, the text says that 48 hours. 48 hours means 2 days. What it means is, if you are arresting someone on a Thursday evening, 42 hours from the Thursday evening will be weekend. The court won't sit on a weekend. So you then tell the person who has already told you that he hasn't have any landed property that he should go and bring landed property, or else he will not be able to satisfy the bail conditions, and he cannot go scot-free. But
let me cut you in. This is very unreasonable. And,
yes, it is unreasonable.
And for emphasis, you say that Paul had written in the form submitted
that
to him that he doesn't have a landed property
in his name. Even if he didn't write that he doesn't have landed property in his name, I have already explained. The rationale behind bail is securing someone to stand in surety for you. So the person would come and say that, okay, this is somebody I know.
In the thinking of the special prosecutor, if I don't have a landed property today, and I go to any court or I get arrested by it means that I have to go to prison.
You mean for being 48 hours.
So all the people that do not have landed property.
I'm part. I don't have landed property. I don't have land in my name.
How can you think like that?
So if anyone comes to arrest me and says that I don't have land anywhere, so because
it means go to jail.
I will go to jail for 42 hours.
He thinks that's the loophole.
But I may know someone.
Yes, of course.
Who is an individual of me.
That's where the surety comes in.
I may know a public office, and that's the point of bail. That is public surety. That's why the surety public. You go for somebody who is. So
he's acting as a judge in his own court.
More or less, and it's sad. It's quite sad.
But this is very unreasonable, and I'm wondering how special prosecutor thinks that he can act this way. Well, somebody who is supposed to protect the interest of the public. And that is why you are there, special prosecutor. If you are watching us, you are there to protect our interest. You are there to protect our taxes. You are there to protect the law. And so I'm surprised that you would act this way. Is it because you think that Paul comes on touch screen and talks against you? Or says his mind on what he thinks you are doing right or wrong? Is it for you to show him that you have the power, and so you can arrest him and keep him behind bars anyway, anyhow you like it? This is a very difficult situation. I'm sure you may want to help us to answer these questions.
Even Julius Caesar, his time passed. Even Julius Caesar.
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised.
So these things, it's some way. And even after, when he was being taken away, where is he going to? Because the reason you would often have police station like Mamprobi police station, the reason you would have them allowing you to have access to the person there is, you never know the medical condition the person may have.
Exactly.
So you need to know where the person is being sent to, so that you know that, okay, if he's to take his medicine at this point in time, maybe his wife or his mother would bring it to him. They were doing merry-go-round with where he is, doing convoy. One convoy is passing
the
here.
Lawyers.
One convoy is passing. One car is passing here, going here. Then you are asking, where is he? He is not to be found here because we went here. We said, oh, he's
because
not
I came there. I came to the special prosecutor's office.
Officers from the OSP's office, some of them were at a venue of at a law enforcement agency, I do not want to mention, right in Accra, Rage.
Waiting for him.
We went there, we saw it, we asked, where is he? Oh, he's not here. So, Wufi OSP office. What was the point?
I was at the gate. I was at the gate for over 3 hours. I saw media men. I saw people who were ready to report.
Then
nobody knew.
Nobody knew
where.
So it is just now that we've been able to learn that he is in his whereabouts or the venue of his.
But why are you even keeping the whereabouts of the person?
Private.
For what? Why are you keeping it private?
For what? And you see,
you are following the law. Why are you keeping it private?
The law, our constitution, particularly in the Fourth Republic, is tilted to rights and liberties. It's that there's an inclination in Chapter 5 of the Constitution to rights and liberties. So there is a presumption, and we have this, it's called anybody, even somebody you see chopping the head off of another person, is presumed innocent.
Exactly.
To proving guilty.
Yes.
And consequently convicted in a court of competent jurisdiction. Bail, according to Section 96 of Act 30, the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act, 1960, Act 30, is not used as an avenue to punish an individual. Bail is never to be harsh, neither is it meant to be onerous. So, if the person has not been convicted by a court, you know where the person lives. He has never made his residential address not known. You know where his office is here. He comes here for good.
Every Tuesday, every Thursday, he's here.
Tuesday,
So you know he cannot run away.
He's here. You know his children, are being educated in this country. He has links to people, friends, bonds, and everything. How will this individual
run away? In the morning when I watched the video, and you had been with him in the morning, in fact, I was quite skeptical about concluding that the special prosecutor was
going to arrest him. Same, actually.
Exactly. And the fact that it had been concluded this was a witch hunt. I mean, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a special prosecutor. I've seen him. I've had some encounters with him, and I think he's a fine gentleman. But I can now conclude that this is a witch hunt from the evidence put before us.
A witch hunt so great, it makes even Chewa jealous. See, there's a... this is a serious issue. It is a serious issue. It is. So bail is not used as an avenue. You don't use bail to say, we are going to restrict this person. We're restricting this person.
So you were powerless.
That's what bail is for.
It is not. A special. This is not.
And it's not about. You see, it's not about. And that's one thing I always say. It is never about the person, but it is about running down institutions. And I have always been. I was one of the largest. I've been the largest critics. I'm one of the ferocious critics of the operations of these national security agents. Mask, this gun here, gun, even under NPP, because what's the source for the goose? It's source for the gander.
Exactly.
If we say, and to those people in the NPP who are also saying that they've done this to Paul, so we too, when we come, you do a democracy.
It is the system we are fighting for. It is the structures we are fighting for. We want things to work.
2028 and about 2032, which we are going to show NDC.
So
it will get to a point in time where people will begin to lose trust in institutions and rather gain confidence in muscle. There's this case, Entic versus Carrington, those who are educated in UK.
Maybe let me allow you to go on, and then, of course, with the acts that you're putting out.
Yeah, no problem. So there's this case called Entic versus Carrington, and there was a judge called Lord Camden, and he said something. He said that every human being enters society for the protection of life and property. Every human being enters society for the protection of life and property. Why did he say this? There was a time before the advancement or the creation of civilization, where everybody, it was everyone for himself, God for us all, the strongest, the fittest, people would kill to have food and things like that. But as time went on, we began to get civilized. And so it became about the institutions, the structures, and how we can protect and keep these things. So if we make it about individuals and personalities, no society is built like that. A classic example in Ghana's history is this guy, Joe Appiah. So Joe Appiah was a Ghanaian politician. In fact, Joe Appiah's history is so interesting because at the time he married one woman called Peggy Cripps, who was the daughter of, I think, the Chancellor of the UK. And this is the 50s. Because, so, you know, an upper class British woman marrying a black lawyer, it was not heard of. And so Joe Appiah was everywhere. Now, Joe Appiah ran against Buzia in the PP. He wanted to be flag bearer. He wanted to lead the Progress Party. But then Joe Appiah lost to Buzia, who won. Buzia won the 1969 general elections with 105 out of 140 seats in the election and was sworn in as Prime Minister on the 1st of October 1969. Joe Appiah took more or less a counter position to Buzia. It would interest you that after Buzia was overthrown, Joe Appiah was made the head of a policy known as Unigov, which was to make sure that the military and the civilians would govern together. And it was in perpetuity. It means forever the military and the civilians will have a union government. It is that same, and in fact, Joe Appiah was even given a helicopter to go around campaigning for Unigov. It is that same Unigov that led to the downfall of Achampong. And after Achampong fell, Joe Appiah's legacy vanished. If Joe Appiah had stayed firm and said, no, this is a democracy, Achampong cannot overthrow Buzia. You cannot pick sides and things like that. Joe Appiah may have had his name etched in the annals of Ghanaian history, but that didn't happen. And so it may not be so much so about, it shouldn't be about personality, but it should be about institutionalism. But as for telling somebody who has told you already, and it will interest you to note that at the time, Paul was giving information that he did not or he does not have any landed property or property in his name. He did not even know that bail was up for discussion. And so it was then taken, used, and then said, hey, bring your landed property, and he couldn't provide landed property, thrown behind bars. Well, we are here. Back to you. It's hard, and you see, the problem for me is not necessarily about Paul as in Paul, but about the system, exactly,
the structure, the process, the procedures, and the things that we all fight for as a country. So today, it is Paul Adom Othere. Tomorrow it can be you. I'm receiving quite a number of messages, and I think that people should not personalize it. And for those of you who think that, well, Paul is, somebody just sent a text, your boss is too known, and another person says, your boss can talk. What do you want him to do? We are supposed to be citizens and not spectators. And so when we see something which is not right, like we are seeing now and tonight by the special prosecutor, we are supposed to comment on it. We are supposed to. Yeah. That's the work of the media, to make sure that the system is right. We are the fourth estate. And so we cannot allow things to just fester. We are supposed to make sure that we put the system in check. We put the executive in check. We put parliament in check. We put even the courts in check. We express our opinion. We express what we think. We give the platform for people to share their opinion, for people to share their ideas, for people to share their expertise. And so if he does that, how does that amount to destroying anything? And how do you, as a special prosecutor, want to show him where the power lies? What happened with you going to court? I see people writing the law is the law, but the law is not, I'm not sure this is the law. The law is you going to court and winning against him. If you want to imprison him, get the court to convict him. And so I'm very sure that you are watching, and there are a number of people who have expected. I've seen somebody write on Facebook that I think some 40, 50 minutes ago that special prosecutor should release Paul because it was just some 26 minutes to Good Evening Ghana. Whatever it is, I've said that we call him the Apostle Paul, and he has a number of people that he's trained. And so whatever it is, Good Evening Ghana will still come on, and Paul will still be Paul. He will come back. Tuesday, we are live. Thursday, we are live. Every day will be live. Good Evening Ghana will still go on, and Paul will still be on. I am just surprised at the intimidation and the witch hunt. And AFRIFA said that even Chewa will be jealous about sitting on them. No, that cannot be. Somebody says the OMP himself should be investigated. Well, we'll leave it at that. But let me come to the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Tafo constituency, Honorable Eko Vincent Asafua. He sends a very long one. I wish I could put this on screen for you to read. I'll try and see if we can get it for you. Okay. Then you can project it. So I'm going to share it with Tornado. Then so I will just forward it to Tornado now. Then we can see if we can project it. But whilst we do that, in the meantime, whilst we do that, I'll still read it, and then it is sent now. But let me still read it for the hearing of everybody. So, Eko Vincent, Member of Parliament for Tafo constituency, says, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has a mandate to combat corruption, and we respect that mandate. However, in exercising such powers, it is essential that justice is not only pursued, but pursued fairly, proportionately, and without prejudice. The detention of Mr. Paul Adom Othere over his inability to present 2 landed properties as part of his bail conditions raises legitimate legal and ethical questions. And Vincent is a lawyer. Vincent
was my mate at the law school. We sat in the same classroom.
Well, so this is from a lawyer that I'm reading. Bail in law is not meant to be punitive. It is a mechanism to ensure the accused appears in court, not a measure of wealth, privilege, or property ownership. It is troubling that someone can be held in custody simply because they do not own landed property in their own name, especially when alternative forms of surety could be considered. One must ask, are we setting a precedent where property ownership becomes a gateway to freedom? And Napraku asks the same question. In a country where many hardworking professionals rent, lease, or hold assets jointly, this standard appears both exclusionary and ungrounded in equitable justice. Furthermore, the ongoing investigation into a revenue assurance contract signed under the Ghana Airports Company Limited must be approached with institutional clarity and fairness. The contract in question intended to ensure or enhance revenue outcomes at the time was executed under the leadership of the then Chief Executive Officer with oversight from the board chaired by Mr. Paul Adom Othere, despite the operational authority resting with management. The OSP's probe suggests the involvement of a private entity linked to a known proprietor of a revenue mobilization firm, though no official link to the firm itself has been established publicly. In the interest of justice and due process, it is critical that all actors within the governance chain are engaged equally, and that institutional memory guides the interpretation of decisions taken at the time. This is not to preempt the OSP's work. Of course, nobody is preempting its work, but we can actually comment whether we feel good about it or bad about it. And tonight, we are telling the OSP we feel bad about the work he's doing so far on the Paul Adom Othere's case. This is not to preempt the OSP's work. We support the rule of law, but the rule of law also demands restraint, balance, and a presumption of innocence, not targeted humiliation. Let us never forget, even justice must submit to the rule of fairness. Vincent Eko Asafua Esquire. Chris Arthur says, Kwesi, the next move by the NDC government is to go after chiefs and pastors who criticize the unlawful arrests and detentions. We are indeed in a crucible period. Honorable Chris Jojo Ahin Arthur sent in that one. He is also a lawyer who sent in this one. And Adenta Kumi says OSP himself should be investigated. That's coming from Adenta Kumi. Well, they do say the rest. Well, I think I'll leave this here. There are lots of messages coming in and a lot of mentions coming in on different platforms. But tonight, OSP, it is not palatable. It is not exciting. It is not good. I mean, for the democracy that we are all protecting, that His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama is protecting, the peace that is protecting. His focus is on creating jobs for the young people of Ghana. His focus is on creating a conducive business environment for the young people of Ghana. His focus is on allowing free speech by journalists here in Ghana. These go to mar the reputation that we are building as a country. All of us are building as a country. It goes to destroy that reputation that we are building as a country, that people can no more sit on their radio stations, their TV stations, on social media and express their concern. Mr. Kiseja, this is a very difficult time. And we must say to you bluntly that it is not palatable at all. It is not exciting at all. You are allowed to do your work. We support you 100% with your work to ensure that there is value for money, the taxes that we are paying. We will back you on any day. But we are saying that follow due process. Do it as it must be done, without intimidation, without personal vendetta, without personal involvement, without settling of your own cause, special prosecutor. This is what we are telling you tonight. And this is what we are saying about the case that you've taken upon yourself tonight. I mean, do all the investigations, do whatever you want to do. And so, AFRIFA, if you have any final words, then we'll see the video that was done by him this morning, right? And his explanation.
Yeah, well, it's older, relatively older videos. I think Tarek has that one, where he details what's going on, and then we'd also play the one we did this morning before we close with some other.
Okay, and I understand we'll also have that for the interview he had with the UTV people. That was a very insightful and exciting one. So we told you that we are still going to have Paul on. So for those of you who want to see Paul every evening, we also want to see him every evening. We are going to make sure you see him, and you would enjoy his usual presentation and his usual level of intellect that he presents to us all the time. So let's see.
Before we even go, there are issues in the substance of the matter that I do not. My personal philosophy is I do not really think, particularly in criminal matters, that we should prejudice. So let us go to courts, and then all those things will be dealt with in courts. But so that we have to notice that these are not very palatable times, not only for the NP, not only for Paul or for people who align with who he is or are fans, but it's generally not palatable for. And interestingly, President John Mahama today spoke to the press and said that it is not under his watch, because he is a member of the Ghana Journalists Association.
Yes.
He's a professional journalist, and he says it is not under his watch.
He's been a Minister of Communication and Information before, so he understands these things that we do.
I don't have any problem with anyone investigating wrongdoing. In fact, it is good. People who take our taxpayers' money, but in any case, nobody took any time. This issue is not even about appropriation of money.
Yes.
The state hasn't lost a peswa. No money, nobody's money has gone anywhere. But in any case, that is for the courts for him to decide. But we also have a duty to understand that these things must follow due process.
Yes.
It reminds me of a story I had. I used to have conversations with Professor Kumado at the law school, Legon. And it was a conversation about an old lady who lost her house because she didn't wear her glasses.
Yes.
And the law of contract, if you fail to exercise due diligence in entering a contract, you'll be bound by it. So she lost her house. I said, it's not fair. I was arguing, it's not fair. But why? It doesn't make sense, not fair. And he said that justice is a two-edged sword. So just as it's supposed to fight for the woman, it is also supposed to fight for the one who innocently bought the property.
Yes.
And doesn't know that you didn't wear your glasses. It has to look at the investments that person made. It has to look at the forbearance that person, all those things. So we have to understand that there is something that ought to be done in the way things are going. But his lawyers are not sleeping. I know that for a fact, that his lawyers are not sleeping. In fact, as of now, I can say as a matter of fact that in his chambers, which is everybody who knows that law firm knows that they are they are drafting processes, trying to see how best they can attack.
I mean, that's a bit of a good that's an assurance for everybody that wants Paul out.
Oh, yeah, nobody will sit down. Nobody will sit down. We are not in the PNDC era where people can be treated anyhow in some kangaroo court or any kangaroo procedure. This is the Fourth Republic, and if you want to do something, you do it properly. So you cannot and then expect people to sit down. No, I do not believe in. you can't sit down and wait for God to say, no, I don't believe in that philosophy. So
that's good for us.
Boot for boot will match you.
That's good for us.
We'll match you in
for
court.
us. That's good for us. I mean, it's just unpalatable, and nobody is a custodian of power. Even the president himself is there, and he's supporting the kind of work that we do as journalists, like Apreku just said. And so it's difficult to understand that anybody will think that because of the power entrusted in them, they can actually use it anyhow. Mr. Special Prosecutor, like I said earlier on, we support you with the work you will do to pursue people for accountability and probity purposes. But the process and procedures, you must follow the course. So we'll quickly run. If we are good, we can now quickly run to see the interviews